married and not kill anybody. Step number one, you've got to avoid bitterness and resentment. Now, bitterness and resentment can build when one person feels they are unfairly bearing the burden of the relationship. When the weight of the relationship falls more on their shoulder than the other one's shoulder, then they will start to feel very bitter and resentful towards their spouse. Now, how men and women keep score is very different from each other to determine who's carrying the most amount of weight. Now, what I'm about to share with you, people ask me a lot, where did you learn all this stuff? What are your different influences? And, 32 years of marriage, that's one influence. But a lot of different people and listening to stuff, and I hear ideas, and I take them and change them and stuff. This particular, one of the guys that had probably a huge impact in my life about relationships was John Gray, and I think the guy's absolutely brilliant. I'm a lot funnier than he is, but he's brilliant, all right? And this section this is Gray to the T. Okay, I just admit it right up front. But the reason I share this because his insights on how men and women keep score is absolutely brilliant. It truly is. You see, men, when it comes to us keeping score, we're quick to give ourselves huge bonus points for everything we do. We crawl out of bed when we'd rather stay in, and just for that we give ourselves 500 points. And then we go to work and we put up with all the stuff at work and we earn the paycheck and we give ourselves, 2,000 points for that. And we come home without chasing other women and we give ourselves huge points for that, So we walk in the door, it's like 4,500, And that's why a lot of men have no problem sitting on the couch and now contributing nothing. Because in his mind, he's way up in points for the day, and now he's giving you a chance to catch up. Now, I didn't say it was right. Don't get mad at me. I'm just saying this is the way his brain ticks. And a lot of guys will actually start feeling very bitter towards their wives if they feel their wives are trying to make them do stuff. Because in his male psyche, he's way up in points for the day. He shouldn't have to do anything else. Now, the problem here is that women keep score a little differently. Let me show you how a woman would score the same man's day. He gets out of bed when he'd rather stay in, and for that, she loves and appreciates him and gives him, ding, 1 point. And then he goes to work, and he earns a big paycheck and does all this stuff, and she goes, I love that, and she goes, ding, 1 point. And then he comes home without chasing other women, and comes home, and she's so glad to see him, ding, 1 point. So you walk in, you got 3. Well, she also got up, she also went to work, she also cleaned the toilet, she also took the kids to piano lessons, she also had it in, and it's 13-3. And you don't want to do anything? And now she starts screaming at her husband, which in a way is a good thing because it's the silent ones who really do kill people. If it gets quiet around your house, I'd get nervous if I were you. So, she starts getting very, very angry. Now, when guys first hear about this, they get very discouraged. They go, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that no matter what I do, I get 1 lousy stinking point? Well, the answer is yes. But the good news is you can make this work for you. Because what men fail to realize is that women respond to virtually any simple act of kindness and reward it the same way as they would a big act of kindness. Right? Now, guys don't understand this. They think it's got to be big. It's got to be special. Girls, you have to understand, the reason why we don't do a lot of small things around the house is because to a man, it doesn't mean anything. It's not that we hate you. We just couldn't possibly care less. It means nothing, and because it means nothing to us, we think it should mean nothing to you. But guys, you can't make that mistake. She scores very differently from you. Simple acts of kindness. It's those simple, like I told you last night, it's those simple acts of kindness that got her to fall in love with you in the first place. It's relatively easy to get a woman to fall in love with you if she'll pay attention to you in the first place. That's the hard part. You cross that hurdle, you got it made. As long as you pay attention. Simple acts of kindness. You do that, you can keep a woman crazy in love with you for your entire life. Simple acts of kindness. Every time you do a simple act of kindness. Ding! 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 But guys, we don't think that way. If it's got to be big, it's got to be important. That's why a lot of guys, they'll only go all out for their wives, about 4 times a year. Birthdays, anniversaries, Christmas, and the obligatory Valentine's Day. And we think we'll do something real special and real fancy, and we think, well, that'll hold her. But that doesn't hold her. To her, you've done 4 things all year, you bum. Now, guys, again, they get discouraged. Oh, for crying out. You mean, oh, I can't believe. But listen, you can make this work for you. This is great. I'm about to show you how you can succeed with a woman while doing virtually nothing. All right? I thought I'd get an applause out of that, but I don't know. I don't like the sound of this. Now, here's an example. You get up in the morning. Your wife's brushing her teeth. You're standing next to the bed. Make the bed. It takes 120 seconds of your life. It's nothing. She'll walk into the room and go, oh, you made the bed. Ding! You know that monument that you're building in the middle of your bedroom of old underwear? Pick it up. Throw it in the hamper. She'll walk in. He picked up his underwear. Ding! When you're done eating dinner, instead of just slugging off in front of the TV like Jabba the Hutt, clear off the table. It's 60, 90 seconds of your life. It's nothing. She'll go, he cleared off the table. Ding! And now you're scoring. Ding! But see, guys don't get that. Gray uses this great analogy. He says, if you bring a woman a rose, she'll go, ah! Ding! And then men, we think, wait a minute. 1 rose, 1 point? A dozen roses, 12 points. So we run out and we spend, 80, 90 bucks for a dozen long stem roses, and we bring them to her, and she goes, oh, thank you! Ding! In fact, by the raising of your hand, how many women would say, I would rather receive a single rose 12 different times than a dozen roses once? Let me see your hand. So a guy looks at that and goes, so inefficient. You want to make out like a bandit on this deal? Plan something special for your wife, like taking her out to dinner next Friday night. Nice restaurant. Go ahead and get a babysitter in advance. Get everything all set. But then tell her what you've done. A lot of guys, they'll think, oh, I'll surprise her. No, you amateur. Surprise her. Never try to surprise a woman. So what you do is you tell her in advance. The minute you tell her, honey, guess what? Next Friday night we're going to such. I got some nice reservations. I already got a babysitter. We're going to have a great time. The minute you tell her what you're going to do, ding! You just got a point and you haven't done it yet. All right? Then, because she's a woman, she's going to tell all the other women in her life about what you've planned. And every time she shares with another girl, you know what Bob's got planned? He's already, next Friday night, he's got reservations at such and such, and he's already got a babysitter. It's so exciting. Every time she shares that story, ding! You get another point. And now you are literally doing nothing. And the beauty of that system is, every time you're earning a point, the husband of the other wife, that poor slob, is losing one. So it's kind of like a double coupon thing going for you. You really want to make out like a bandit? engage your wife in meaningful conversation. Now, to a lot of women, meaningful conversation means she talks, you shut up and listen. But you can't just drift off into your nothing box. You have to let her know that you're hearing her. Every time you acknowledge that you've heard her, ding! So she'll go, la, 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 la. You go, you don't say. Ding! La, 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 loop-de-doop-de-loop-de-doo. You mean loop-de-doo? Really well. How did that make you feel? Ding, 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 ding. And you're doing nothing.